Good evening, Jericha.
Oh, good evening, Joan.
How was your lovely city break?
It was absolutely wonderful, thank you. I haven't slept. We've had a whirlwind, wonderful whirlwind. As you know, it's our anniversary. It's been our anniversary. Excuse me. And it's been non-stop. Cialis for me, Viagra for my partner, and Cardinal, her partner, came along as well.
Gosh, so it was sort of the four of you going at it, hammer and tongs.
Yes, a lot of sleepless nights and a wonderful.
Were you in an apartment together or a hotel?
Yes, we've got a suite, so we were all able to muck in and join in the fun when we wanted to, and then we had our own. Obviously, we had a pool, we had plunge pool, dip pool
in the room.
Which was wonderful, actually. I mean, a lot of these Far Eastern places do have this. It's a long flight, but it's absolutely worth it. The service, the price is very reasonable, and it's a sort of wonderful escape where you lose yourself rather, and all the usual, oh dear, should I do that? Should I think this?
Yes.
Those all disappear.
Yes.
It's wonderful, very freeing. And what about you? Tell me your...
Just gardening this weekend, actually. Yes,
wonderful.
but I love it. I love
you do, don't you? Getting
grappling with the cabbages and getting the carrots in, making my chutneys and
wonderful
soups, and visiting all the local folk and spreading the word.
And you go around with the basket and hand out the
hand out all the produce, God's produce for everybody. So let's crack on and look at our first problem. Okay, so Dear Joan and Jericha, on a recent holiday in the Norfolk Broads, I realised there was a frisson between me and my 17-year-old godson. I glimpsed him in the shower and he smiled at me as if to say, come in. I'm recently widowed and wondering if I should pursue this, though I wonder how his mother would feel.
And that's from?
That is from...
Is that Emma?
Emma Crowley.
As I said, it looks like crumpet. It's not Emma Crowley.
Emma Crowley, as in
Crowley.
Alistair Crowley, but I wouldn't have thought she's a direct descendant.
No.
But there we are.
Very interesting. So I'm imagining, just trying to get a picture of this little scene. 17 years old. He's naked as the day he was born.
Which she probably saw.
Which
she's
yes,
the godmother.
actually, very good point. But now he's got pubic hair. He's got some chest hair, probably. He's probably got he'll have a washboard stomach and tufts of pubic ebullience, as I call it, with a sort of firm V down into strong thighs and probably, I mean, I imagine he probably cycles. He's probably got quite tight and lustrous calves. So that's setting the scene. But then it's on the Norfolk Broads. It's on a boat. So he's in a little tiny shower. He's in one of those little put-me-up showers.
Yes, and he's probably taking up most of the shower with that physique.
Indeed. So he's sort of quite crushed up. He's probably had to tauten up his body in order to get the shower head in the right place.
But I don't see any rolls of fat as he crunches over. I just see that washboard stomach.
I don't think that's him.
Actually taking the flak.
I don't think that's him. So he's looked at her. Read the bit again.
Well, she says, and he smiled at me as if to say, come in.
As if to say, come in.
Yes.
Smiled at me as if to say,
so
come in. So
imagine he's probably got some fantastic teeth.
Imagine white teeth, as you say, this sharp jawline.
With just a smattering of that golden stubble.
Yes.
Across his, that lovely tanned skin that has that sort of plumpness.
Yes.
But
richness.
Not fatness.
No, it's not fat.
It's just...
It's
the skin of a young man.
It's the skin of a younger man.
And he's got the hands of a young man that are probably clasping at the dial on the shower to make it hotter because he loves the steam.
Indeed.
Probably after he's been running along the towpath.
That's right.
Oh no, it's Norfolk Broads. Is that more riverish? I'm not sure.
Well, it's beautiful. I mean,
it's going to be some kind of path.
It will be. And it may be that he's had some fantasy thoughts in that shower, and that that the penis perhaps is a little engorged, and perhaps is peeping out, winking at her. She doesn't say this, reading between the lines, that this sort of, as if to say, smiled at me as if to say, come in, hints
you think
to
that
me,
could be the penis?
Hints to me at the language of the genitals.
Because they do speak to us, don't they, the genitals?
Absolutely do.
Yes,
Absolutely
I always think
do.
the penis has a face.
The penis is like a little sort of hedgehoggy, lizardy, maybe.
I'm seeing this more as a young buffalo.
Ah, yes, yes.
Or a tiger.
Yes.
Obviously, just in terms of the strength of this young boy's penis at this age, it's very strong. It's very hard.
Yes, it's got a real angle on it. There's no droop, no hint of downward motion. It's all skyward and full of hope and optimism. So, yes, I mean, what a difficult situation.
Very, very difficult, because there's hints of the Woody Allen here, isn't there, whereby he brought up his, the daughter that he went on to, admittedly an adopted one, very, very similar here. She's probably changed this lad's nappy.
Yes.
When he was a baby. She was invited to be his godmother, which means she needs to bring him up in the ways of Christ, give him regular presents and advice and guidance. And yet here they are, trapped in this boat with this electric widow. She's a lot older, but goodness me, it's coming off the page.
It is leaping and bounding off the page, isn't it?
I think what's adding to the excitement for both of them is the boat. It's small, it's contained, and obviously her friend, the mother, who has invited her on the holiday, felt sorry for her.
Yes.
She's in the next room, probably sleeping.
So you've got to be very quiet.
Got to be quiet. And she's got to force herself into that very small cubicle with him.
Well, what I'm
under
wondering...
the steaming water.
Look, it's very difficult. I'm wondering, just in the first instance, whether one simply doesn't just reach in and just take hold of the genitals and simply release this lad, release him off,
which she could probably do very easily.
She's an older lady,
and under the sound of the
water.
Admittedly probably quite weak water. They're never very good, those showers,
are they? What's up with that? Come on, Norfolk Broads boat guys, get a grip on these.
Get a power shower in there, because we're all going to need them if you're going to be having the sort of sex that this woman obviously desperately wants
and needs. Her husband's died, poor man.
And poor woman.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
She's left bereft. And
yes, although she doesn't talk about his death, does she? She doesn't give us details.
No.
So we don't know where.
She's clearly moved on.
Yeah.
And good on her. She's moved on by going on this lovely holiday with her best friend.
Yeah.
Whilst lusting after her son, her godson.
Her own godson.
Is there, I suppose the question, apart from her going in and, as you say, releasing him off, or even more, releasing him into herself, should she wish to do that, or they could come out into the kitchen area. Maybe there's a bed she's been on there that she can...
Well, there's often, isn't there, the kitchen, the table will fold down as a sort of wooden base, and that goes across to make a double bed.
She might want to just do it on the table.
But that's an option, obviously. I'm not saying she's got to be...
Knowing that any moment
the friend could walk in. Yes, and let's be honest, that's part of the enjoyment, isn't it? For both of them, for both the boy and for her.
Yes, it's absolutely stunning as a scenario. Now, I'm interested, actually, going back before the point of the shower.
Yes.
Because she's mentioning a frisson. So that perhaps has been developing for... Well, is it just on the holiday? Is it for years before?
I don't know. I mean, that's we need... I mean, again, it's frustrating. We need some more detail. Wonder if she could write in a bigger description of this guy.
Yes.
Send that in.
I think so, because obviously we're
filling in the gaps a bit.
We are, but I think we've got the measure of him.
Yeah.
We know he's the type of guy who's going to get out of the shower with a tiny towel round, which is obviously tenting with his erection, and he's probably got that sort of skin that will have little droplets of
glistening
water just...
And he may have used some body oil, or he won't need it. Skin, the delicate and barely lived in skin.
Aside from all this, do we need to address how the mother would feel? Do we need to look into the
Not really.
whys and wherefores?
Not really. I mean,
I think we just need to really get more information.
I think we need
to
more
really
about
make
the
a
young
decision on
the young guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
That's answered that, I think, quite clearly. Pleasure.
Dear Joan and Jericha, I'm 50 with a son of 9, and I'm finding the other school mums rather unfriendly. What can I do to fit in? My first thought is 50 with a son of 9. What's going on there?
Warning bells are ringing, aren't they?
Yes, I think is there something wrong with him for a start? You would think so if you're having a child at, what is that, 41?
41, which
He's
is...
having a child. I don't get it with these people.
No, it's difficult, but I think the problem for us, we're we do have your longer letter, and we can dig into that as much as we like, but for listeners hearing that, there are going to be some judgments made, and rightly so. If you're 41, she doesn't say, is it her only child?
She doesn't say. I don't know. We can check the longer letter in a moment. We'll get one of our researchers, Robin, to have a little rummage.
I think you've got to accept, and this is the difficulty, you've got to accept as an older mum, if you are going to choose to be an older mum, you are outside society.
And actually, can we call it an old mum?
A geriatric
just
mum.
An old mum. It's not really just an older mum. It's an old... If you're going to be an old mum...
An old mum.
Then take the consequences.
Exactly. Because you don't fit in. You're flying in the face of an awful lot of things. You're taking risks, frankly. You're bringing a child into the world where you're going to be long gone before that child is properly established. You're not going to see your grandkids. You're missing out a lot. I don't know
why have you left it so late?
Why have you left it so late? Oh, God, you could absolutely throttle some of these people.
It's, God created us with a body to start making babies from the age of, well, nowadays 9, 10.
9 and 10.
I'm not suggesting that we do that.
You don't have to rush into it that soon. But by
really,
12, 13...
Well, you can be certainly getting into having intercourse in an appropriate environment with an appropriate adult or older boy, man,
whatever you like,
and church goer, so it's all morally acceptable. But I really think it's just about doing things. There's a reason why people do things in their 20s, because they've got the energy and they've got the body and they've got all that you need,
and the body will spring back at that age.
Exactly.
You're not going to lose your looks in the same way as what is her name? Fiona Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, Fiona! Oh, you're just infuriating. Anyway.
I know, and the thing is, she doesn't send a photo, but...
Well, you've got to question that as well, haven't you?
Yes, we do ask for photos. It's just helpful.
We get a picture.
Now, the question is, your question's about the, not fitting in with the other mums, but I think so many clues are there. You probably look old. You, as Jericha just said, you won't have sprung back into shape because you left it so late. Those young mums don't want to be going for the drinks with you, probably, do they? No. I mean, I was going to say, go on one of those class drinks, because there's all these types of things you could join in with the pantomime or the class drinks or the cake making.
I mean, when Cardinal was little, we were forever joining in with clubs and drinks and,
Wine o'clock.
Wine o'clock. It's
always wine o'clock.
I'll put my hands up to wine o'clock. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that, believe me. But as you say, she's isolated herself. And now she's whinging about it. Sometimes it's about accepting who you are, putting your hands up, saying, I've made a mistake. There's nothing I can do. I'll get on with helping others.
And don't start dressing young.
No, goodness, no, that would be
a bugbear of mine.
Huge bugbear. Absolute huge mistake. No.
Okay, well, let's leave it there with Fiona.
Yes.
Dear Joan and Jericha, my wife tells me I should change my underwear more often and often belittles me about streaking in my gussets. Surely all men have this. Ian Bodie, Bristol.
Right. Yes. Look, men do have streaking in their gussets. Ian, nothing wrong with that.
I think the thing is with guys, bless them, is wiping for them is a bit of an issue because you've got the guys who, for example, when they go for a pee, don't dab the end of their penis to dry it off, and those that do.
Yes.
And obviously nowadays we've got all the lovely little portable mini little squares that the guys can use to just dab the end of their willies when they've done a wee and stop any frontal staining.
Yeah.
Should they wish to. Others are happy to let that
So
that's ammonia soak into their pants.
Yeah.
But I think women, we're so used to wiping the front and wiping the back,
scrubbing away,
scrubbing until there's nothing there or is bleeding. We know all about it.
Yes.
And obviously changing nappies and all the things that women do through the ages historically. So I think that for guys, wiping the bottom is something they'll get mum to do for as many years as they can.
Yes.
And equally, they don't really check if the paper's clean.
No.
When they've got to what they consider to be the end of the job.
Well,
But equally, they don't check their stools.
No.
Hence the amount of bowel cancer we have in men.
Yes,
and they don't
cancer.
check for leaving big chocolatey marks around the toilet bowl.
No. Or indeed on the furniture if they're just not wearing any pants after they've been. Yes, I mean, I often think that the point is that for men, and many men, and most men actually, that time is money. You've got a busy job, you've got a lot of dependents, you've got people relying on you. You literally can't afford to sit on the toilet and spend more than perhaps 25 seconds wiping the anal area and round where the hair might have matted into fecal clumps around the back of your passage.
Or forward towards the scrotal region, which obviously can happen.
Yes, and with the dimple pocketing scrotal sac, that can be another contributor to scud marks or skiff marks or scruff marks or skaith marks as they're regionally termed. I suppose my question would be, Ian, is what sort of detergent is your wife using? That might be something to check, because if they're coming back still streaked, you've got some bigger questions, I would say.
Is your wife doing your washing properly?
Is she doing it at all? We don't know.
Why is your wife not buying you fresh underwear? Is she spending the money on manicures and pedicures and so forth? Which
mani-pedis.
Is a question.
Yes, it's a good question. Oh God, I mean, it's depressing, isn't it? And you say quite rightly you want to throttle some of these young women. I think there should be classes in schools where girls are taught about things like gusset streaking for guys. For some girls, they won't have come across this.
No.
Until they're married, and they won't know, probably their boyfriends they won't necessarily have seen the boyfriend's pants. He'll have whipped those off pretty sharpish in an amorous clinch. She may well never see them with the lights on, for example. She probably won't be picking them, unless she's a great girl. She probably won't be picking them up in the morning to get them washed. So it just it begs a lot of questions, this, and worries me very greatly, this letter, really. But as you say, always get checked for bowel cancer.
Absolutely. But the other thing you can do if you are concerned about your skiddy marks or skiffy marks, whatever, you can get man pads.
Yes, you can.
You can pop those in.
Those are washable
man pads. They come in really nice different fabrics, quite manly fabrics. You can get a dark
gingham. You
got your dark gingham, your dark denim, your cord, which is fantastic because it really takes it into the ridges. So it is fantastic for that.
I love cord.
I love cord.
Yeah,
Jumbo cord.
Jumbo cord. Who doesn't love jumbo cord?
It's fantastic.
There's nothing more flattering, I don't think, on a guy than a really good pair of jumbo cords.
Absolutely. Particularly if you think of a sort of rugby player type physique, you know, really muscular and firm with the forward arch of the thigh.
Yes. Pushing out against the tan or navy of the cord.
Or if you're a particularly macho guy, even pushing out against a sort of that terracotta or going into salmon pink. It's still look incredibly
very, very nice.
Attractive on these type of buff
guys.
men.
Yeah.
Guys, as you say, which is a nicer word.
Men or guys, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, as always, for your letters and your woes.
Yes.
I myself am off to do a little bit of recording on our album this evening.
Absolutely,
which we're both very excited about, aren't we? We're gearing up to releasing our first album together, which I think is going to be. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a big seller.
I think people are going to enjoy it. The feedback I've had so far, and certainly the little tasters we've put out, people have very much enjoyed. People are saying it's a cross between the sort of more operatic Alfie Boe type music, coupled with the much more sort of modern, the script or Little Mix type sounds, which is what we're after.
I think that's really hit the nail on the head of the combo we're looking for.
Yes, indeed.
Isn't it?
Indeed.
We're hoping to do some videos to go with that.
Yep.
And then we'll be touring when we feel the time is right.
Absolutely. So watch out.
Yes.
Look out for some dates.
Because I should imagine the tickets will sell like absolute hotcakes.
I think already I've got people contacting me saying, "Can we get tickets?" And there haven't been any. Even got any gigs booked in, or festivals, or international tours as yet.
No, but we will. We
watch
will.
this space.
Yes.
Yes. Good night.